Likes, engagement, follows, subscriptions, they've kind of become the yardstick of what it means to be a successful independent artist. But what is that actually doing for our music? What is that actually doing for our brand? It doesn't actually pay the bills and move us forward as a full-time artist just to get a few likes. So what is it that we actually do need? Let's talk about it. Hey, well, I'm Craig from the Dotted 8 studio. I'm talking to musicians who want to become artists, musicians who want to have a real go at doing music for a living and without a heap of money. Well, today we're actually going to be talking a little bit about money and a little bit about music business, which is kind of a bit gross, a bit sticky, but we've kind of got confused, I think, when we're chasing this kind of full-time for a living musician thing. We get confused with likes and follows and shares and subscriptions, meaning that we're kind of on the path to that. We're going to talk about how there's obviously a place for that, and we obviously need to grow our engagement and our reach. But unless we're converting that into actual sales, then we're not going to be a full-time musician. We're just going to be a full-time poster on Facebook. We're going to be spending all our time crafting these posts and putting up these things. And actually, we're not going to be able to do that for a living because nobody's paying us to do that. We're just going to be wasting our time and working another job and just trying to fit in music when we can. So we need to talk about how do we actually make some money out of our music. So that's a bit gross. Not many people like talking about money. And then especially when it's music, because we've got to convert art into business. We've got to make the songs that are so special to us, this sort of expression of ourselves, and then think like a business so that people can exchange money for that. We don't like talking about it, but we need to be talking about this a little bit. We need to make sure that our music is bringing in more income than it's actually costing us to do it. So our music brings in more than the recording costs us, more than the video costs us, more than that boost on Instagram costs us. Our music needs to bring in more than that. And not just our music expenses, but once we're doing it for a living, then it's also covering the mortgage or food or education or anything else that you need to spend your money on. We actually need to bring in more from music than we're putting out in our life. So how do we do that? How do we actually convert likes? How do we convert engagement? How can we convert people that know about us into essentially customers that are paying for our music, paying for an experience with us? So I'm going to do some episodes in the future where we talk about all the different sort of maybe products that we have as a music artist. But today, just the fundamentals of how do we actually make money and why are we shooting for likes? Why are we shooting for likes and engagement and comments and follows when we actually need to be shooting for a fan base? We actually need to be shooting for an audience, not a like. So I've got a little analogy that we're going to talk about today that kind of helps make some sense of this. I think it's a fun analogy anyway that I thought about the other day when I was driving home from work. So what we do, we see Facebook and Instagram, YouTube as a measure of success, right? So let's just say we spend $1,200 on a recording and a music video, right? We spend a bit of money on that and then we boost it. So we've spent some money on both putting the product together and then we've spent some money on advertising it. So we've spent some money on promoting that. So from that, we get 250 shares. All right, we get 2,000 likes and we get 15,000 views on this video, okay? So we get really excited about this. If I got those numbers on anything I did, I'd be absolutely stoked. I'd be excited about it. But what is that actually doing for our music brand? So out of that, it might bring across, let's just say that brings across 100 new follows to the page. So we've spent a bunch of money on doing all this, 15,000 views, 2,000 likes, but only 100 people actually click through that and come to your Instagram page, come to your Facebook page, come to your YouTube, whatever it is. So then, as we talked about a little while ago in promotion, out of those 100 people, when our next post is now going to deliver to 4 to 8% of those. So 15,000 views has become 100 people to our page, has become 8 people that get the post. And then the next level down is you're going to put out an ad for a new show coming up, or you're going to say, I've got a new single. You're going to say, I've got some merch or something that you want to sell. So out of those 8 people, how many are going to buy that product? I'm not sure. I don't know about the statistics of that. But you can see when we got 2,000 likes, 250 shares, 15,000 views, when we actually pull that down to customers, the number just gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So what can we do to make sure that some of that reach that we're getting can actually end up being customers? Because that's our end game. And those customers is a business way of looking at it, but they're essentially a fan base. So they're any band, artist that you're a fan of, you've probably invested in. So you'd buy tickets to a show, you'd buy merch, you'd buy their CDs, you kind of become a fan. So that maybe that's a better word than customer. But it's kind of the same. If we can look at it like that, break it down a bit like that, it makes a little bit more sense to us. It's somebody that purchases some of our music experience, whether that is merch, whether that's coming to a show, whether that's behind the curtains live stream, or streaming music on Spotify, or something that actually pays you money. We need a fan base to do that. It's a little bit like this, all right? We need to be moving traffic to our inner circle. We need to be moving traffic to the end. So while ever it's out there on Facebook as likes and shares or whatever, it's just out there. Nobody's actually coming in to know anything about us. Those 100 people, they came, they've got one foot in the door. So they've liked our page. So they're interested, but they're not in. And that's because we can't guarantee that our message gets to them. So the delivery, 4 to 8% from 100 people, that's 4 to 8 people who might engage with us. So they're not on the in. So how do we get people on the in? Here's the analogy. Just say you've got a Toyota dealer, right? So he sells cars. He's got a car lot. On my way to work, I drive past this Toyota dealer and I see it, right? I see the dealership. I see the business. At that point, I'm part of his reach. I'm part of his views. So I'm part of the 15,000 views that car dealership got for the day. But what can the manager do with that view to convert me into somebody that purchases a car? He can do absolutely nothing to get me there. It's fully reliant on me wanting to buy that car. There's nothing that he can do. It doesn't matter how good the cars are on that lot. It doesn't matter how good he is as a salesman. It doesn't matter how much I would benefit from that. He's got no way of reaching me unless I completely take initiative and do it myself. And that's what we're all waiting for as musicians, as artists, is that people would just take initiative and want all our stuff. They would just see us and they would instantly just want all our stuff. And we kind of wait for that. We try and put up that perfect post so that people see that and they just take initiative and do it. But me driving past is just a view. So that is how we need to start looking at these social platforms. Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is just a vehicle that drives past things, that drives through things. So it relies on me even concentrating to start with. So how often do we see things like that? So we've seen it, we're part of the reach, but we didn't even concentrate on it. So out of that 15,000, out of me driving past that car lot, I've actually got to even think, oh, there's a car lot, rather than just seeing it and moving on. So let's go another level deeper there. Maybe I do see the car lot. I do see it, and the manager is standing out the front and he's washing one of the cars or something. And we catch eyes and I go, I like it. I see it and go, that's cool. I like that. I now like that business. I like that car yard. And the managers see me. I drove past in my Facebook and I liked it. Now what chance has he got of making a sale out of me? Still nothing. It's still completely up to me to take the next initiative and to go in and buy a car. There's nothing that he can do to nurture me or to show me a new car or anything. It's still just reach. It's still just numbers, right? So now I'm part of the 2,000 people that liked the business that day, that liked our video that day. So let's go another level deeper. Maybe I have my window down, he's out there, and I yell out the window as I go past, I really like this, man. Great cars. This looks fantastic. So I leave a comment on it and I drive on past. And then when I get to work, I might say to my friend, because they're going to read the comment, right? So I might say to my friend, oh, I saw this Toyota dealership today. It looked really great. I was really impressed with it. And I've now commented on it. So now what chance does the owner have to sell me a car? The chance is a little bit greater, but it's still completely out of his control and it's still completely up to my initiative. Even though I've seen it, I've liked it, I've commented about how I like it. I'm still nowhere near his inner circle where he can actually sell me a car. I still have to decide to go and buy a car. So what can he do to actually sell me a car? He needs to get me onto the lot. He needs some way of being able to talk to me and be able to interact with me and nurture a relationship with me before I'm going to be able to buy a car off him. So that's going to be his inner circle. His inner circle is getting me on the lot and having a conversation with me about it where he can tell me exactly what I will get out of it. What are the benefits of the car? What are the features of the car? What's in it for me? And he can kind of express that to me. So that's his inner circle. So as artists, what is our inner circle? We've got people driving past in their Facebooks and Instagrams. We need to get them onto our lot, into our inner circle. So what is that? That could be, I think at very least, that is Spotify, because at least that is paying you, though at very little, that's getting them in the machine. If they can like you on Spotify, then every new bit of music, they're paying a Spotify subscription, which pays you, and you've got chances of getting in playlists and all that sort of thing. So that is making you a little bit of money if you can get them into Spotify. So at very least, the first layer of our inner circle is perhaps Spotify. Maybe even a bit further out than that is YouTube, because YouTube subscribers are quite loyal. You've got a lot more opportunity to kind of engage with people on YouTube. They're going to see your stuff that comes up. Instagram is probably a layer back than that. We like so many different pages on Instagram, and that's not always going to come up. But maybe if they go across to our actual profile or they engage with our stories or something, they might be on our inner circle. Step out from that, which is where all the money is that we're paying for in Facebook is next to useless as far as actually grabbing someone in an inner circle. So Facebook is great for maybe a little bit of information, but as far as keeping people sort of in your party, as keeping people in a place where you can nurture them and build a relationship, Facebook is really, really hard to do that. So we go Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, right? But what's even better than that? What's even better than that is going to be like a website or an email list or something where you can actually have conversations with people one-on-one. Or maybe you can write an email that goes out to 100 people or whatever, but it's quite personalized and allows for that sort of conversation where you can start to sell your music as an experience. You can start to speak to that person about what's in it for them if they engage with your music. What's in it for them if they turn up to your show? What's in it for them if they grab your merch? What's in it for them if they buy your new single or share your new single or something like that? So we can actually build and nurture a relationship, but we've got to get them into that inner circle. So how's this car yard manager going to do that for me? His inner circle is that car lot. So he needs to get me onto that car lot with some sort of incentive, right? So maybe he puts a post up. Maybe he's got a sign out that says free barbecue Saturday lunch. So maybe that's some sort of incentive that I'll go, oh, actually, I'm a little bit interested. Let me go and have a look. And he might entice me in with something. And then at that point, I can make a choice. I'm still making a choice to go into his inner circle. So if he can come over to me and say, hey man, are you interested in a new car or something like that? And at that point I can go, no mate, just browsing. But he's at least got me to the inner circle where I can make a choice. Now, if he's a really good salesman, like we need to be as music artists, he can kind of talk to me about some of the benefits, some of the features, and kind of just at least grab my details so that I can be in the know. At that point, once he's got my details, he can start to nurture a relationship with me. And that doesn't necessarily mean I'll buy a car, but it means he's got an opportunity to nurture a relationship and potentially make a customer out of me, potentially make a fan out of me because I've got to his inner circle, I've given him his details, and now he can actually have a real relationship with me and nurture that relationship with me so that hopefully, if it works out, if what he's offering I want, I can trade my value, money, for his value, the car. We can trade our value, music, our experience with our music, with their value, money, or with their value, time, if they come out to a show, or whatever it is. But we've got to kind of build that relationship, build that trust, and we do that by getting them into our inner circle. Does that make sense? I hope that makes good sense. So we need to get people in there, get people into your Instagram account, get people into your Spotify, get people into your website and onto an email list so that you can nurture them and build that relationship. It's no good them just being in a Facebook car that drives past and sees your business and likes all of your posts. It's never going to pay you money for someone to like your posts, okay? So I obviously understand how this works, and then it's a numbers game, right? So just say you're converting at 10%, which means 10% of people that drive past your car lot come onto your car yard. 10% of people who see your post will end up buying from you, right? That's a massive percentage, but let's just pretend it's that for now. If you have 100 people driving past, then you're going to sell 10 products. 10,000 is 1,000 and so on. So it's absolutely a numbers game. So what we're doing on Facebook and Instagram by putting out these posts, putting out these feelers and growing this reach is really, really good. We need to keep doing that. So don't post less, post more. Get that vehicle happening. Get people in the vehicle seeing your music, seeing you as a musician. But just what this whole video is about is making sure that's not your end game, because that doesn't matter if you don't have a system set up underneath, if you don't have an inner circle set up where you can actually start to make transactions and trade people's value for the value that your music has. Unless you've got that set up, likes, shares, comments, engagement, it doesn't mean anything. We can spend a lot of money on getting likes that don't actually make us a full-time musician. They don't actually sell any more of our songs. Maybe it gets more listens, but who cares if someone listens to your song and they don't connect with you as an artist? Who cares if you get 3 million streams on Spotify, but none of them follow you on Instagram? None of them actually buy anything else from you. They just stream your song because they saw it in their Facebook vehicle and they streamed your song. 3 million streams means nothing if you have no fans. Whereas 200 fans that buy a $20 t-shirt, a $30 show, and what else? Like a $5 single or something on a USB. 200 people that do that trumps 3 million streams every day of the week. We need to be making fans, and Facebook likes isn't the way to do it, but an inner circle is a way to do it. Hey, look, I hope you got something out of that today. I hope that sparked something, just made you think a little bit about your strategy, and at the end of the day, just that you would set up something. I think that's your call to action, that you would set up something. Do something today to make an inner circle. Make sure your Instagram page is more inviting and that you can interact with people more. Make sure you're interacting with your YouTube subscribers, or maybe set up a website or an email system or something so that you can nurture relationships. So I would love to know, if you're on YouTube today, if you could chuck in the comments, what's an incentive? Like, what's your barbecue to get people onto the lot? What's something that you can use that actually gets people into your inner circle where you can have a conversation? If you've used something in the past, I'd really love to hear from you. Chuck that down in the comments. Something that you think would be great to kind of make that transition from like into fan. That would be really, really awesome. Hey, if you're watching on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're a podcast listener, thanks so much. If you're on Apple Podcasts, a quick review helps kind of get the reach out, helps people to know that this is a podcast that is of value and that people are listening to. That would be really, really awesome. I'm just doing short episodes every week, 15 to 20 minutes, just talking about this music industry. How do we go next level? How do we go from just a musician into being an artist that actually has a fan base and does music for a living? So that's what we're chatting about every week. So jump on board with a subscription to either a podcast or the YouTube. That's about all from me. Make some music this week, and we'll talk again soon.